What are the difference between a process-oriented and product-oriented performance-based task?
Hello everyone, so in this video, I will differentiate between process-oriented and product-oriented performance-based assessment. But before that, what is performance-based assessment? It is used to measure students' ability to apply their learned knowledge and skills to a given task. Now, what is a product-oriented and a process-oriented performance-based assessment? So, for process-oriented performance-based assessment, it focuses on the actual task of in the actual task performance of the students, and students are being assessed through observable behaviors or attitudes while performing the given task. On the other hand, the product-oriented performance-based assessment, students are being evaluated or assessed through the final output or the product that they are going to produce and submit to the teachers. So for example, I will give an example for the product-oriented performance-based assessment. In a subject campus journalism, you are or the teacher is going to require his or her students to submit a school paper. That's for the product-oriented performance-based assessment. Now, the students will be evaluated or assessed through the product or the school paper that they are going to submit to the teacher. On the other hand, for the process-oriented performance-based assessment, you are, as a teacher, you are, for example, you are requiring or you will require your students to perform a speech, to present a speech or a declamation. For example, now you are going to assess or you are going to evaluate your students' performance through their actual performance itself. You will assess them, for example, through their hand gestures, their body language, how well they perform the given task. For memorization, if they have memorized their piece like that, and then if they have eye contact, their body movement, their hand gestures. I think I have already made myself clear with the main difference between a product-oriented and a process-oriented performance-based assessment.
What are the difference between a general and specific task-oriented scoring rubric?
Hello, now for this video, I am going to differentiate between a general and a specific task-oriented scoring rubric. We all know that scoring rubric is used by teachers or educators in as a guidance in assessing their students' performance in a given task. Now, the difference between a general task-oriented scoring rubric and a specific task-oriented scoring rubric, I will give you an example to better differentiate the two. Now, for example, you are a teacher and you require your students to perform a task, let's say an oral presentation, and you are going to prepare a rubric for that oral presentations, for example, a speech. Now, for a general rubric, if you are going to use a general type of scoring rubric for that speech, now your criteria would likely be more general. For example, you are going to assess your students in your criteria. You are going to include voice quality of your students, their hand gestures or body language, how well they memorize their piece, and accuracy. And on the other hand, if you are going to use a specific type of scoring rubric, your criteria would include more detailed, more specific information, such as you are going to look into the content of the speech of your students, some factual informations that your students are going to include in their speech, and of course relevance of your students speech to the topic given to them.
What factors determine the use of scoring rubrics over other authentic assessment procedures?
Okay, for the third question, we have what factors determine the use of scoring rubrics over other authentic assessment procedures? So, we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 factors or, characteristics that must a scoring rubrics have in order to be considered as effective or reliable, like that. So we have here first the gradations. There should be gradations of quality based on the degree to which a standard has been met, or basically a scale in the rubrics. It refers to the series of contents sa a certain kind of rubrics. Then second one is the descriptions. Of course, in making rubrics, we must also emphasize the descriptions na ato ang ginabutang inside the rubrics, because effective rubrics offer a lot of descriptive language. Yes, of course, di ba? Kinahanglan nato i-explain ang criteria na nakalista dito sa rubrics. Then the third one, we have the continuity. The difference in quality from a score point of 5 to 4 should be the same difference in quality from a score point of 3 to 2. All descriptors should model and reflect the consistent levels of continuity. So when you say continuity, kuan siya, murag ga-refer siya sa gap sa scoring sa rubrics. And then the fourth one we have a reliability. It is a good rubric. It is a good rubric. It can be considered as a good rubric if it ables to used by various teachers that have them all arrive at similar scores or given assignments. Reliability also can refer to time. For example, if you are scoring for 100 essay, the rubrics will allow you to judge the 100 essay with the same criteria that you used the first essay. So ang reliability from the name itself, diba? It is already understandable what reliability contributes to a good, or you can consider a rubrics as a good one or a better one. And then we have the validity. It states here that a rubric possessing validity scores what is central to be the performance in assignment, not what is easy for the eye to see and simple of the teacher to grade. Validity, it is more on the content of a certain performance. So kinahanglan ko anta kanang dili lang ta more on kung unsa lang ang makita or kung unsa lang ang madunggan, or not just in the literal level lang. Dapat we go beyond sa ginabutang nato na criteria sa rubrics. And then the last one, we have the models. Don't forget to model exemplars of products at various achievements levels. So be sure to keep the models anonymous.
Identify and describe the process of developing scoring rubrics for product-oriented performance-based assessment.
The first step in the process entails the identification of the qualities and attributes that the teacher wishes to observe in the student's output that would demonstrate their level of proficiency. The next step after defining the criteria for the top level of performance is the identification and definition is the criteria for the lowest level of performance.
Here are the 5 examples of scoring rubrics.
Okay, hi everyone, I'm back and you already named me right. So my name is Talona Pinulowing, and this time I'm going to show you how I grade the rubrics, and I have chosen the group activity on solutes and solvents. So you all know what is solutes and solvents, right? So as you can see in the picture, I have given only the 4 points of each criteria on how I'm going to grade the rubrics. So I have here the highest score 50 points, second one is 30 points, 15 points, and the lowest score is only 5 points. So you can see the I have given 50 points, which is the highest score, and you can see their students understanding, students use effective strategies, and also students use logical thinking. So in 50 points, it is the highest score when students do the group activities. I mean, when students do the experiment very well or excellent. Yes, when there is nothing, even one or a little mistake in doing activities, such as, or shall we call it is perfectly done on their activities. And the second one is 30 points. So when students done only the explanation above, students understanding of the concept is evident, but not as like the highest score. It is clearly evident, though it is evident, but there is something going wrong with the maybe the materials used or how the students do the activity given or the experiment. And also students use appropriate strategies to arrive at the conclusion, though they have used the strategies, but it is not totally as good or excellent as what the highest score is being done by students on doing their experiment. So the third one is I only give 15 points when students only has a limited understanding and a concept or what they are going to do their experiment. Maybe when just a limited understanding, maybe they understand but not the whole concept of the activities or the experiment they are doing together with their group mates. And also students use strategies that are ineffective. So when we say ineffective, is not really have the good results, or from the word itself effective. So what is effective? It is have the good results inside of how they are going the experiment. So when we say ineffective, maybe they do the experiment but not as good as the result, or the result is not being what they are going to achieve, or it is not achieved on how the students do the experiment. Yes. And also I have given 5 points in the last, or which is the lowest score. It's because students lack understanding of a concept, so they don't know what really doing, what they are going to do the experiment given. And also, though they have the materials, or maybe they have incomplete materials and they don't know how to do those activities they don't know how to do the activities because they have a lack of understanding, or they don't even understand how to do the experiment. And also student makes no attempt to use a strategy, or they don't, because they have lack of understanding, so they don't know what strategies are going to use to achieve the good results, on how they're going to do that experiment. And lesson also is student shows no understanding. They don't know what are they going to do the experiment. Maybe they don't know how to do this one, or they don't know how to do this kind of such a thing. So that's all And I hope you understand my explanation on how I'm going to do or to give the scoring rubrics in that type kinds of certain group activities.
Hi everyone! So this is the scoring rubric for Scrapbook of EDSA Revolution. This scoring rubric will be used to assess or to evaluate students' work based on the given topic. This is a specific task-oriented type of rubric because it contains a specific criterion on how to rate or on how to grade students' work. The students will be graded based on the following criterion. First is the appearance of the project. Second is the content facts. Third is the images. Fourth is style and organization. And last but not the least is the creativity. 4 is the highest and 1 is the lowest.
So moving on, we have a sample rubric of argumentation and debate, but let us focus on the debate. A debate is a topic-focused speaking competition between the two teams, and the focus of it is on prepared research-based information. Students, most of the time, are provided with a controversial topic. They have to put out all the evidences, all of their credible stands in order to win. So in this rubric, I believe it is a holistic type of rubric because it describes the work of the student, it describes the work of the debater by applying all the criteria at the same time and enabling an overall judgment about the quality of the work. And as you can see, this sample rubric is a performance-based assessment for a debate activity. Let's say this is a debate about World War II. So under this, in this rubric, we have 5 main categories: the information, the use of facts and or statistics, presentation style, understanding of topic, and rebuttal. In information category, this is a very important part in the debate because I believe that the heart of the debate is, or the core of the debate is in the informations. And they offer a much greater degree of engagement between teams. In the use of facts and or statistics, it requires creating a persuasive narrative that explains the data and an adequate explanation of why a statistic is being used, what it means, and its source, or where does it come from. The persuasive use of statistics or data is one of the most powerful tools. It's one of the most powerful tools in any rational argument, especially in public presentations. In presentation style, I believe this is a good step to define the terms of the topic. Without a clear understanding of a topic's key terms, we will not know what either side needs to prove over the course of the debate in order to win. In rebuttal, this is an essential element of debating. It provides the clash of ideas that makes debating different from public speaking. So, other columns here are the varying levels or the varying scale according to the performance of the students. So we have exceed standard 4, next is the meet standard 3, nearly meet standard 2, and below standard 1. So under the exceed standard 4, they have sub-statements according to the information that has been given. And the last column, as you can see, are the scores. So, as a rater, you have to assign a single score based on an overall judgment of the student work, and it must match the entire piece of student work to a single description on the scale.
This type of scoring rubric is specific task-oriented. I choose evaluating an output of a typing class. So this rubric assesses the knowledge and skills of a student in doing typing of a computer. So as you can see the criteria there, so teacher evaluates student, their body posture, the finger position, the palm position, the typing rhythm, accuracy, that student finish their work, accurate rate in 90%, the speed, that student maintain average of 35 words per minute.
This is the holistic type of a rubric for essay on why Jose Rizal should be the national hero. So this rubric will be used to assess students about an essay based on the given topic. This is the specific task-oriented type of scoring rubric because it contains specific criterion and how to grade students. And students graded based on their performance. Students graded based on the following criterion. So here's my criterion: the formative, the topic content, the career content, the word count, and the spelling grammar. In the formatting, we have paper is not type. Paper use one of the four formatting requirements. Then paper uses two of the formatting requirements. Lastly, paper uses all four formatting requirements. Then in the topic content, there is a little information about the topic included in the essay. There is some information about the topic in the essay. The information includes description about the topic and the activities done. Lastly, the topic includes detailed information about the descriptions about the topic and the activities. In the career content, is a related career is mentioned. The essay includes a minimal information to a relative career. Career information includes a training, the life of Dr. Jose Rizal, the achievements of Dr. Jose Rizal. So career information includes training, the life, the achievements, the struggles, and the background, etc. Then the word count is the essay is of 50 words or less. The essay is 150 words. The essay is 250 words. Lastly, the essay is 500 words or more. Spelling grammar is the spelling and the grammar's errors are frequent. Some of the words are spelled correctly and some grammar is correct. Most of the words and grammar are spelled correct. All of spelling and grammar are correct.
So we're done with our discussion. Hope you enjoyed and learned something. See you!